Hello, I'm Chang and I'm on the faculty of Music Institute of Chicago. I think it's sometimes easy to think that you're too old or you're too young or you don't have enough time. And none of those things are really true. There's always time for piano, and it'll bring you endless amount of joy. Well, I always try to make sure that the younger kids feel comfortable. You know, it's always a little bit scary to have a one-on-one with an adult person that they haven't had time with. So I try to make it less about let's learn piano, than more about let's learn about each other and get to know each other and let's get comfortable. And then that really, I'm always surprised to learn how eager they are to open up about what makes them happy, what certain things may not be such a fun thing for them. So they really open up a lot, and it's easy for me to find out what energizes them and what motivates them. And of course, I try to work the lessons towards that road, and it always works well when we just hit the right track together. Yes, I've always noticed that some of the younger kids really actually don't know what it means to practice. And it came as a surprise to me, but totally understandable. I think we tend to think that we know what that means, and maybe even some of us adults don't really know what it is to practice well. But certainly for the younger ones, and if starting out, they don't know what it means to practice. So what I always do is take time to outline at the end of each lesson. It's just something on the book that gives them, what I do sometimes is I just do it the old school way. I put 3 boxes after each day that they're going to be gone. So 6 days, let's say, and there's 3 boxes after each of those days, and they just check off the 3 times that they play that piece. And then it could be done, and they can say, I have practiced. It gives them something very firm and solid for them to point to and say, yes, I have done that. And it always gives a way for parents to be able to look and see if they're doing what they're supposed to. Yes, so I get this question a lot, and one of the ways to do it would be to combine your practice time with something that the children already do on a regular basis. For example, having dinner, or putting away the dishes, or doing their homework, or something, brushing their teeth, something that happens all the time in a regular way, and we connect that with that activity, and it makes it seem a little less like something new that they have to start doing, and a lot easier to remember. So that's a good way to establish a rhythm. Another, maybe as you mentioned, the fun way, I've encouraged parents to work with them as that kids really like to see things visually, I've noticed. So I've done this with now, let's say like a pile of quarters on this side, 3 quarters on this side of the table, and we want to move those quarters to the other side, and if they play it, what you can make, whatever it is that you want it to be, the objective, play these 4 bars without a mistake, or let's say, work on whatever aspect that they were supposed to. And if they get those right, then you move the coins over to the other side. And if they get all of them right, then they get to keep the quarters. Yay! The kids really love that. My goodness, all of my adult students, whom I absolutely love at every level, and they always have the same opening sentence, which is, I wish I had continued with piano when I was younger. So they all feel that way, and I'm so glad that they all come back to it when they can as as they became a little older and realize that they want that joy to be in their lives. So to be an adult learner, you have obviously your life and profession and family to work with, but they now start to see that it's not a matter of making mom happy or parents happy or teacher happy and doing the things that another thing that they have to do as children, that this is a decision that they made on their own, and they see how much it adds to their daily lives, and they can share the piano enjoys during holidays or with family, and are teaching their grandchildren, even their children, the little things, and that the family remembers them with their music, and that really brings a lot of joy to them. And I'm always proud of our older adults who decide that this is a way that would make their lives really meaningful. So for me, in my studio, I'm always mindful that the adults have lives, and that they have things that come in their schedules, in their lives, that need attention at different times. And also that there are particular types of pieces that they would like to play, or I've always wanted to explore. So I don't feel like it's my job as a teacher to dictate what pieces they would learn, or at the speed that they would like to move along. Of course, I'm always able to help with selection of pieces, but I've always found it to be much more successful when I would allow the students to choose the pieces themselves. It makes them certainly a lot happier. Well, there are so many, but of course, one would be that you get an individual one-on-one attention with someone who's a professional in the industry, and you get to have private instruction in the direction that you want to go, and perform in the ways that you want to perform. So that is wonderful. And of course, here at MIC, there are a plethora of avenues where students, especially pianists, who tend to spend a lot of our time in a solitary way with our practices, that there are many opportunities for students to be involved with other like-minded students in groups and group activities and duo playing and chamber music. So it's always wonderful to be involved and have a teacher at your side for individual piano lessons. That's really a loaded and big extended question, but one that I would, I'm sure, emphasize with my more aspiring students would be that they would become members of the academy here at MIC, where they would be surrounded by fabulous teachers, events, and other like-minded students who are at their level, and see what a life in music could be like. Then, of course, I would have honest and open communication with them and their parents about what it means to have a life in profession as a professional musician. And my previous musical experiences in the industry would help me guide them along that path. Well, when I was younger, I emigrated with my parents to this wonderful city of Chicago, and spent my life growing up here, and then went on to Bloomington, Indiana, to attend the wonderful Jacobs School of Music. And there I spent quite a bit of time, and it was wonderful getting my 3 degrees. They finally had to kick me out because I enjoyed my time there so much. So after I received my doctorate, I went on to teach as piano teacher, chamber music teacher, entrepreneurship director at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, their flagship campus, for 25 years actually. For half of that, I was also the artistic director of Lead Center for Performing Arts, which is a major presenter, and had a wonderful time getting to know that part of the industry. And now I've returned to Chicago and spent time teaching at wonderful Music Institute of Chicago, and also serving as consultant for regional artists and organizations. So as you can see, music is the connector of all of that, and I highly encourage everyone to follow their love of music.